And why I bothered doing this on a really windy day, I've got no idea at all. I must be mad. But I'm walking up the hill now, and it's been known as Hill of the Wizard. To a fantastic long barrow, and it's well worth seeing. One thing you do notice is this cross stitch here that you can see leading on down, which gives an indication of much earlier civilization. So there's the Roman road. First one of them that way. It splits off in a junction at the top. And we're heading over this way here. And you can see that the ground here is littered with flint. So Neolithic man had plenty of material to work with. And just looking down in there, you can see it everywhere. And there we are, there's a piece of flint. There's loads of it. Billions of pieces of flint. We leave the field now and enter through here, which is a bit like walking in a jungle with all this bamboo type crop here. We go along this for a short while in meeting up with the other Roman road that goes past the Long Barrow. Amazing. Talked about flint earlier. Look at the size of that piece there. If I put my boot against it, you can see, gosh, that would make a tool or two, wouldn't it? And I will get to the point where I tell you why I believe it was called Hill of the Wizard. And as I come up through here, I can see the Long Barrow ahead of us there. Absolutely amazing. And it's not quite on the ridge of the hill. It's just a little bit off of it. But a fantastic thing to see. Well, I'm just coming up to the Long Barrow now. And this Long Barrow, Cold Kitchen Hill Long Barrow as it's known as, well, we could call it the Wizard Hill Long Barrow, is absolutely amazing in that it's quite well preserved and never been excavated, from the information I could find anyway. And as we get closer, we'll go up and have a look around it. I will put on a LiDAR map of the area with the Long Barrow in it, so you can see. I'll put an ordinary map up as well, an ordnance survey, and I'll put a satellite map on in addition to that to give you an idea of it. But it is truly a spectacular barrow. It must have been for a very important Neolithic ceremonial area or place. I can see the hawks flying above it, as if the ancients are still keeping an eye on this sacred place. So I'm stood in the 4-foot ditch at the moment, and it has a ditch that goes all the way around it. It's around about 12 foot high. It's 230 feet long, 72 feet wide, and goes from south-southeast to north-northwest, which makes it totally different to most barrows that I've seen. Absolutely incredible. So what are my thoughts as I'm on this very windy Long Barrow? Well, my thoughts are Wizard Hill, obviously Coal Kitchen Hill. It was indicated that obviously it was a poor agriculture area, which is untrue. So there was a Roman temple that was over that way to the west, and it may have been that people associated it with the Roman road, people coming up and down the Roman road on a regular basis from the mining areas would have perhaps related it to a sacred place in later times. So long come the Saxons and everything else, and then they reflect on how the Romans used it as a sacred place, and they couldn't understand their religion, so hence the terminology wizard. That's my guess on it. And on the top here, you get a true idea of the size of it. Truly impressive. So I think we'll walk down over the top and have a look at the northwest end of it and see what we think, where that bush is there, I think. Looking towards the east and the bushes that we just had a look at. So we'll carry on up here onto the top again. I try and get as many different perspectives of an area as I can, because it fires your imagination looking at the landscape and then seeing where it fits within there prior to obviously our modern farming. Now walking up to the ditch at the western end, the sunset end, probably best to just point out that the sun would have set in this direction, and coming around to the east would rise in that direction. So not rise into the front or the back, but to the sides of the Long Barrow one. So thank you very much for watching. And until the next time, goodbye.